Hello Year 3 and welcome to today's maths video on division with exchanging. But before we get into the exchanging bit, I'm going to go over the learning objective for today and we're going to do a quick quiz question as usual. So our learning objective for today is to understand division through exchanging. Success criteria 1 is I can explain what is meant by exchanging. Success criteria 2 is I can take the correct steps when solving division problems. And success criteria 3 is I can answer questions using my knowledge. So, here is our quiz question for today. And I have done part of this question, but I've not written the question to begin with. So what was my original question that I've started solving here? So we should be able to do this because you know that step 2 is putting the numbers into the grid. So all you have to do is look at the numbers in the grid and take them back out the grid and put them back into the question that we started with. So you can pause the video here and solve that first part. And if you manage to do that quite quickly, you can even do the second part as well, which is completing the question. So pause the video, what's the original question, and then complete the rest of the question. Okay, so when we fill out the grid from the question, we put the small number at the side, number that's being divided into groups of. So I know that this number at the top that's already split up, I need to put that back together to get 67. And then I know that it's split into groups of 3. Okay, so that's my original question. And I'm going to write that in both ways. I'm going to try and write it in both ways. And I'm even going to label and partition my work. Okay, so hopefully you've managed to get this. And now we're on to the second part, which is completing the question. So, if I'm doing the written methods, this first box, remember we can just focus on the 6 tens and forget about the 0 for now. So 3 into 6, we count in threes, 3, 6, and we're there. So that's 2 groups. But remember, it's not just 2 because it's 60, so we have to times this by 10 as well. So 20 groups. And this second box here, how many groups of 3 can we get from 7? So 3, 6. If I was to do another one, it would be 9, and that's more than 7. So 3, 6 is 2 groups. But we need to remember that we might have a remainder, which is remainder 1. Okay, and then we can put them back together. 22, remainder 1. Okay, so that's what we did yesterday. Hopefully you remembered that. And now we're going to be moving on to exchanging while dividing. So, when we exchange, when we're dividing, it's almost like when you've got a remainder in the tens column here, in the tens box here, and we need to exchange it, we need to take it over to the ones column. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So, step 1. We are going to write out the question. 378. And we're going to label and partition this number. So that's step 1. Step 2 is putting our numbers into the grid. Oops. And I'm also going to label both sides of the grid. Okay, so for this example, I'm actually going to split this box in 2 because the top is going to be me solving it with the written method, and the bottom bit here I'm going to show you it in the pictorial method. Don't feel like you have to do both. You can do both if you want, if it's going to help you. but you don't have to do both. So the written method, first of all, how many times does 3 go into 7? So I've got 3, 6. Again, if I was to do one more, it would go up to 9. Okay, so I've got 20. Okay, so it was, we just did into 7, 3, 6. We can only do 2 groups, but it's not just 7, it's 70. So it's 20 groups. This is where the exchanging comes in. Okay, so we only got to, I don't know why that's done that. We only got up to 6, 3, 6. And we have 1 left over, or up to 60, which means we have 10 left over. So that 10 that we have left over, we have to bring it over to the ones column. And now this becomes 18. Okay? So I'm now going to show you that with the pictorial method, and please use this if it's easier. So if we're doing our tens, we can say that this equals my tens. So we're going to make 70 using tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And we can see that we've got 70 here, split into groups of 3. And there's our groups of 3. But we've got 1 left over, which is fine, because we now then can take this 10 and put it into the ones. So, taking this 10, put it into the ones, this then becomes 18. Okay? Because we can't just throw this 1 away, this 10 away, we need to bring it over to the ones column. Now we're ready to go on to the ones column. How many times can 3 go into 18 now? So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Okay? If I'm going to show this pictorially, we'd say the blues equals ones. I'm going to draw 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then we can split that into groups of 3. Got 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, and 3 there. And then we count the groups. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. Perfect. Okay. So that is me showing you this pictorially and in the written method. You need to pick whichever one that you feel comfortable with. And now we can solve the problem. So 20 add 6 is 26. And that is our answer for the first one. We're going to do exactly the same in the second one, solving it written and pictorially. And you can choose whichever one you want to solve the problem. Okay, 64 divided by 4. We have got the same, we're going to use the same steps to solve this. So step number 1 is solving the problem, or writing out the problem, in both ways. So 64 divided by 4 both ways, and labeling and partitioning. Awesome. Okay. Step 2 is putting these numbers into the grid in the correct place. So I've got my small number here. I've got my divide sign up in the corner because that's what we're doing to the sum. And we are splitting these into tens and ones. 60 goes in here, and the 4 goes in here. Okay, just like last time, I'm going to be splitting this in each box in half, and I'm going to do the written at the top and the pictorial at the bottom. This time, actually, I'm going to start with pictorial so we can see it more clearly. So if I change my pen color to our orange, because that's what we're going to be using, tens. And we have to create 60 out of counters. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And that is 60 split into groups of 4. There we go. How many do we have left over? We've got 10, 20 left over, and they go over to the ones. So we have 20 left over, and now we have 24 in the ones column. Okay. We have one group here. Okay. But remember, since we're using tens, we have to times that by 10 as well. Now we can do the written method in this first box. So how many times does 4 go into 6? It goes in once. But then we've got 2 left over, so 4, 5, 6. And that's like down here are 2 tens. And then that's been carried over to the ones. So our second bit over here, we are going to be drawing out these 24 ones using our ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And that's going to be split into groups of 4. So we've got 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. So now you can count the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. If you're solving this using the written method, we do have to change. We count how many 4s in 24. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. And now we can add them together to get 16. Okay, so I've shown you both the written way and the pictorial way. If you're finding the written hard, please do the pictorial. It's a lot more visual. You can see a lot more clearly having to take those, for example, 2 tens down here over to the ones column. So if you find that easier, please do that. If you understand the written method, you can go for that. So the task for today is to complete the questions attached at the bottom of the timetable page. If you need some extra help, please watch a step-by-step guide video which will take you through each step of the question. This step-by-step guide is going to be using the pictorial method. So if you're going to be using that, please watch a step-by-step guide and go for that instead. And I've said at the bottom, if you're comfortable using pictorial, please use that, because whichever way is easiest for you to get it correct, that's what we want to be using. So I hope this video has made some sense. It's a little bit trickier. It's quite tricky to explain and to do at home learning, but I hope everyone gets the concept of exchanging while dividing. Again, I just want to say one last time, please use pictorial if that's going to be easier for you, and just focus on the pictorial examples I've done. Good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing all your lovely work later on. Bye.